The pain of watching those who don't pray succeed sometimes is difficult to understand. For me, my first thought when I saw that is that God is someone we will never be able to understand, because even at a global scale we see wars, we see famine, we see corruption, we see unjust, we see, you know, despicable crimes and so on and so forth. People just being able to get away with the sickest shit, even though they seem like the most, you know, insane, despicable person ever. But somehow, through God's way, through God's destiny, they just seem to be succeeding in life, even though they don't seem as religious, they don't pray. Me personally, I'm not a religious person like that. I do take the topic of God and religion very seriously, but I'm not a person who you would consider religious. I like to keep God in my mind, and I like to keep God in my path and the things that I want to pursue, and with success and with the blessings I truly have involved in, and in anything that I've gained through, you know, my life, I've showed gratitude towards Him. But comparing is where people go insanely wrong, because now it's not that, oh, you feel pain that prayers that people don't make but seem to get the success, seem to get the blessings. It pains you and you don't understand. It's like, why would you care, and why are you focusing on, you know, another person who doesn't seem to be as religious, who doesn't seem to be as grateful, who doesn't seem to be as devoted to God, to be able to, you know, achieve the success that they have? Why would that bother you? Why would you feel pain by that? It's like envy, you know. And if you know what envy is, it's a sin. So it's really just not being aware, I'd like to say, of how sometimes your character as an individual might play a big role in why you're not able to receive blessings, success, or whatever you pray for, no matter how religious you are. Because at the end of the day, God knows who you are and God knows who they are. Like, depending on genuinely how that blessing or how that could, you know, affect your fate, God will see it fit to give it to you or not give it to you, or even make things worse. So if you truly just believe that you are religious, you pray, you're, you know, devoted 24/7, you think about God all the time, and you're not really achieving the level of success compared to other people who you truly believe are not as religious, or don't pray, or don't show gratitude to God, who are you to determine that? How do you know that they're not praying to God? How do you know that they're not as, you know, devoted, as religious, or as sincere when it comes to their request and their prayers for the blessings and success they currently have in their life? How can you 100% confirm that you're doing better than them religiously and devoting your time much more than they would for the level of success that they have, compared to what you're trying to achieve, compared to what you're trying to also gain? Because sometimes I like to see it as, maybe you're praying but not putting any work towards it. And maybe this person has just seriously been grinding day in, day out, and behind closed doors has just been begging and crying and trying every single action towards trying to please God that you might not see. All you see is the success, all you see is the blessings, all you see is everything that you want, but you don't know what he or she might have done to gain that, to get that position, to be able to, you know, enjoy those blessings and that success. Yet you are out here trying to belittle their devotion and their religious, I guess, actions, because they don't seem to be at the level that you truly believe is worthy or should be, you know, accepted from God, which is kind of weird. It's kind of twisted as hell, because that's not the way you should be looking at it. Whatever actions you do to please God should only solely be between you and God. Whatever outcome you get from that should only be solely between you and God. Why should it ever matter how much another person is gaining because of how religious they are or not? Why? When you are more focused on what you're trying to achieve and the connection that you've built between you and God, it should never pain you. It should never like confuse you. It should never bother you how another person is able to gain or lose or go through whatever they're going through in life because of their connection with God. That's their fate. That's what I truly believe in. It's hard work, prayers, and fate. Like, those three things intertwine to make the life you live, the things you get, the situations you're put in, the opportunities you gain. You know, truly understand that there are certain things we don't see. Like, we're humans, we like the most simplest creatures to ever be able to understand God's divine God's divine world. Like I said, I'm not that religious or heavily, you know, invested in the understanding of why God does the thing he does, but I've come to accept that there's a reason, there's fate, there's so many unseen that I will never understand, never see, never come across. And I have to accept that. If you can't, then you truly will never see the success. You'll truly never see the blessings that you pray for, that you wish for, that you truly believe you deserve or are entitled to, because you think you're much more devoted and you have done much more to please God. You don't know what God would be proud of from what you do. That's just based off what you think God would be happy seeing you do. But you don't know if that's really what he loves. Other than that, God bless. Have a nice life. I'll see you when I see you.